Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Did you know? Have you ever felt like your pocket money suddenly lost its power? Well, today, imagine that happening to an entire country. On June 5th, 2026, the Indonesian Rupiah exchange rate against the US dollar hit a psychological level. Ke-18,028. That's the lowest point in years. Oil prices are surging, imported goods are getting more expensive, and the markets are in full-blown panic. But right in the middle of that chaos, Indonesia did something that shocked the world. While finance ministers from all over the world were lining up to borrow from the IMF in Washington, D.C., Indonesia's finance minister, Rupiah Yudi Sadewa, simply said, "Thank you, but we're not taking the money." What? Indonesia turned down emergency IMF aid while the rupiah is tanking. Is this sheer desperation, or is there a secret strategy we don't know about? Let's break it down, step by step. Okay, before we talk about how this connects to the rupiah, let's get one thing straight. Why on earth would this country refuse a soft loan from the International Monetary Fund? The answer lies in one key phrase: the budget surplus balance, or saldo anggaran. Think of SAL as the country's emergency fund. As of March 2026, our SAL hit a jaw-dropping figure around Rp 420 trillion, which is nearly $25 billion USD. Just imagine. That amount is enough to fund the construction of a new capital city several times over. With that much cash in the treasury, the government's reasoning is simple. Why should we borrow from the IMF, pay interest, and comply with their conditions? Let's just use our own money first. According to the finance minister, Indonesia's fiscal condition right now is a bright spot amid a gloomy global economy. In fact, he even mentioned that IMF officials were a bit disappointed because they wouldn't get their interest cut from Indonesia. Polite, but firm. But hold on. If the state's coffers are that full, why is the rupiah still falling? Now, this is the crucial point. A lot of people are asking, "Sir, you rejected the IMF because our cash position is strong. So why is the rupiah still struggling? Did the government make a wrong move?" The answer is, not exactly. That's because the current rupiah weakness isn't due to Indonesia's internal failures, it's due to an external attack. Take a look at the current global landscape. First, US interest rates, the Fed, are still high. This is like a massive discount for foreign investors. Come, put your money in the US. The returns are high, and it's safe. As a result, the dollar becomes a hot commodity, and the rupiah automatically gets pushed aside. Second, the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East are driving oil prices through the roof. Indonesia is a net oil importer, so to buy oil, we need more dollars. In other words, our demand for dollars is rising, while our supply of dollars from exports is shrinking. Wait, why is our export supply shrinking? Because our trade surplus in April 2026 plummeted drastically from $3.3 billion to just asterisk $89 million. That drop is like ice cream melting under the scorching sun. So, what's the actual relationship between rejecting the IMF and a weak rupiah? Let's use an analogy. Imagine you're the CEO of a large company. Suddenly, the global economy goes haywire. Your revenue drops because raw material costs are skyrocketing. That's the rupiah. On one hand, there's a bank, the IMF, offering you cheap loans. But you know that if you take that loan, your company will be tied to the bank's rules, and you'll be paying interest for years. Then you look at your company's cash reserves, the Rp. You decide, no need for a loan. We'll use our reserve funds first. Rejecting the IMF is a defensive fortress. It sends a signal to the market. Relax, we have our own ammunition. We're not going bankrupt. The goal is to keep investors confident and prevent them from fleeing, which would push the rupiah down even further. But a fortress can't stop the storm outside. The global storm is still raging, and that's why the rupiah continues to fall. The bottom line is this: rejecting the IMF is not the cause of the rupiah's weakness. Rather, it's the exit strategy chosen by the government, so that, in the middle of the storm, we don't pile on new debt that will become a burden for our children and grandchildren. So, was this the right move? Only time will tell. For now, the government has chosen to play it safe, using its own capital in the middle of a highly uncertain global situation. What's clear is that we, as citizens, need to understand. When the rupiah weakens, it doesn't mean the country is bankrupt. And when we reject the IMF, it doesn't mean the government is arrogant. This is all part of a strategy to ensure Indonesia doesn't fall back into the debt trap like it did during the 1998 crisis. What do you think? Do you agree with the government's decision to reject IMF aid? Or do you think it would be better to take the loan and stabilize the rupiah? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more exciting updates on the Indonesian economy. I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe, stay smart.